Meet Zara, 25 years old, software engineer, makes $65,000 a year. She did everything right, graduated, got a good job, saved money, and last year, she finally tried to buy her first home. She got rejected, not because she was irresponsible,
Not because she was lazy, but because the house she could afford in 2019 now costs twice as much. And here's the scary part. Zara is not a rare case. Zara is you. Zara is me. Zara is almost everyone under 35 right now.
So today, we're going to find out exactly why nobody can afford a home anymore. And more importantly, what's actually going on behind the scenes that nobody is talking about.
Real quick, before we start, if you're renting right now and feeling stuck, if you've looked at home prices and thought, this is literally impossible, or if your parents owned a home by 25 and you're wondering what went wrong with your generation, this video is going to explain everything. Stay till the end because we're going to cover 3 things. 1. Why prices exploded. 2. Who actually benefits from this crisis. 3. And what options you actually have. Let's go.
Let's go back to 2008. The world's economy collapsed. Banks failed. People lost their homes. Unemployment exploded. To save the economy, governments and central banks did something drastic. They slashed interest rates to almost zero. Now here's the thing about low interest rates. When borrowing money is cheap, people borrow more. When people borrow more, they buy more homes. When more people chase the same number of homes, prices go up. For a decade, this was great news if you already owned property. Your house value kept climbing. But for people like Zara, people who were in school during 2008, by the time they graduated and started working, the ladder was already pulled up. Drop it in the comments. Did your parents own a home by 30? Yes or no? I want to see the gap between generations live in the comments. Now fast forward to 2020. COVID hits, the entire world locks down. And something strange happened with the housing market. Instead of crashing, like everyone expected, home prices exploded. Why? 3 reasons that hit at the exact same time. Reason 1, interest rates dropped again, even lower than before. A $400,000 mortgage in 2019 cost you roughly $1,800 a month. That same mortgage in 2021, $1,400 a month. Suddenly, people who couldn't afford to buy before could. Demand went through the roof. Literally. Reason 2, people wanted more space. You're working from home. Your kids are doing school from home. A 1-bedroom apartment suddenly felt like a prison. Everyone started upgrading. Everyone started buying. Reason 3, and this is the one nobody warned us about. Big investors entered the game. This is where the story gets dark. While you were applying for your first mortgage, companies like Blackstone, Invitation Homes, and other large investment firms were buying thousands of homes, not to live in, to rent out. In the US alone, institutional investors bought roughly 1 in every 7 homes sold in 2021. In some cities, 1 in 4. Think about that. You're competing for a house against a billion-dollar company that doesn't need a mortgage, pays cash, and can overbid on every single property. You never stood a chance. And once they own those homes, they raise rents because now they control supply. So here's the trap Zara is stuck in. She can't afford to buy because prices are too high. She can't afford to save because rent keeps rising. And rent keeps rising because the same people who bought all the homes own her apartment building too. It's a loop, a very profitable loop. For them, I want to know, has your rent gone up in the last 2 years? By how much? Drop the percentage in the comments. Let's make this real. Okay, so we have massive demand. We have investors eating up supply. But here's a third villain that doesn't get talked about enough. And it might be the most boring one. We simply didn't build enough homes. After 2008, construction companies got destroyed. Builders went bankrupt. Workers left the industry. And for years, almost no new homes were built. Then demand exploded in 2020, and there just weren't enough homes to go around. It's basic economics. High demand plus low supply
equals you already know. And making it worse, in most cities, it's incredibly hard to build new housing. Zoning laws, regulations, local residents voting against new apartments.
Even when cities want to build, bureaucracy slows everything down. So you have a generation of 30 million people all trying to buy homes at the same time, and the supply just doesn't exist. Now here's where it gets really painful.
Remember those low interest rates that caused prices to explode? In 2022 and 2023, to fight inflation, central banks raised interest rates. And you'd think, great, prices will drop now, right? Wrong. Here's the trap nobody saw coming.
People who bought homes at 2 to 3% interest rates in 2020 and 2021, they're locked in. Why would they sell their home and give up a 2.5% mortgage to buy something new at 7%? So nobody is selling. Supply dropped even further.
Prices barely moved. In many cities, they went up. Meanwhile, that same $400,000 home at 7% interest now costs you $2,600 a month, not $1,400, not $1,800, $2,600. Zara's salary didn't double.
But the cost of buying a home basically did. Here's a question for the comments, and I genuinely want to debate this. Do you think home prices will ever come back down to affordable levels? Or is this just the new normal? Comment below. I'll reply to as many as I can. Okay, we've been in the bad news zone for a while. Let's talk real options, because I'm not going to leave you with just a problem. Option 1. House hacking. Buy a small multifamily home, a duplex or triplex. Live in one unit. Rent out the other. Your tenants pay most of your mortgage. This is genuinely how many young people are getting into the market today. Option 2. Geographic arbitrage. The housing crisis is not equal everywhere. Tier 1 cities are brutal. But there are dozens of growing, affordable cities where remote workers are moving and building real wealth. If your job is remote, your zip code is a choice. Option 3. The index fund approach. If buying truly isn't possible right now, stop beating yourself up. Instead of saving for a down payment that keeps getting bigger, some financial experts argue you're better off investing in index funds and letting your money compound while you wait. A controversial take, but worth understanding. Option 4. REITs. You can invest in real estate without buying a house. Real estate investment trusts let you own a piece of apartment buildings and commercial properties. Not perfect, but it keeps you in the real estate game. So what happened to Zara? She didn't buy a home last year. Instead, she moved to a mid-sized city. Lower rent, lower cost of living. She started investing the difference, and she's saving for a down payment, but this time with a real plan. Is it fair that she had to do that? Absolutely not. The housing crisis is a systemic failure. It was caused by policy decisions, corporate greed, and decades of underbuilding. It is not because your generation spends too much on coffee. It is not because you're lazy. The game changed. And nobody handed you a new rule book. That's why we make videos like this. Because understanding the system is the first step to surviving it. If this video helped you see the housing market differently, share it with one friend who's renting right now and feeling stuck. They need to see this. Subscribe, because next week we're covering why your salary will never beat inflation and what to do about it. I'll see you there.